Kamala Harris has picked her vice president, and it's not who everybody expected, the governor of Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro. He was expected because he's very popular and would have delivered the most important swing state. Instead, she picked a guy in Minnesota, and people are saying she overlooked the governor of Pennsylvania because he's Jewish. We think so too. Well, Kamala Harris finally picked her VP, and most Democrat pundits and talking head experts on television had predicted Josh Shapiro until the weekend. And about 3-4 days ago, some writing that Josh Shapiro had done as a 20-year-old, detailing his trip to Israel, he's Jewish, and his time volunteering with the IDF came out. And all of a sudden, the anti-Semitism that everybody knows is in the Democrat Party reared its ugly head. And the left wing of the party came out vociferously against Shapiro in favor of anybody else. And then by the beginning of the week, Governor Walz of Minnesota was selected. The progressives hate Israel and don't like Jews that support Israel very much. How much do you think that figured into her choice? Because quite frankly, Minnesota is not a toss-up state. Pennsylvania is the state that Kamala Harris has to carry to be president, and Shapiro probably would have been able to deliver it if he was on the ticket. Instead, she picked a sure state, Minnesota, that doesn't add to her electoral college count.
Yeah, it's hard to figure what the calculations were. I do think, as you say, Barry, that within the Democrat Party, the anti-Semitism reared its ugly head. And even as Governor Shapiro of Pennsylvania declared or tried to back away from maybe his declarations of support for Israel and so forth, that didn't matter in the end, because in the end, no matter what he says or even what he does, he is Jewish. And that identity alone might have nixed his choice, the choice of him as the Harris vice president candidate in favor of, as you say, Minnesota, which was a likely win for the Democrat Party in any case, and their governor, Tim Walz. So it's hard to figure, and it wasn't about the electorate per se, again, in Minnesota, which was going to be pro-Democrat, voting in the Democrat column in any case. But I think it has to come down, as you say, to anti-Semitism, sheer anti-Semitism within the Democrat Party.
You know, as much as that bothers me, Claire, as a Jew, it really bothered me that Shapiro started explaining away his pro-Israel stance from the time he was a 20-year-old. Yeah. Instead of saying, I'm with Israel, I'm against terrorism, I think Hamas and Hezbollah and the Houthis are ferocious criminals that need to be eliminated, which is the truth and logical for anybody that understands the lay of the land. He starts explaining, well, I said certain things. I was a 20-year-old. You know, maybe my views are different. Like, hey, I'm a Jew, but I'm not that Jewy. That's almost how it came across. Yeah. And as far as the left-wing progressives were concerned, it was not enough. So after seeing about a dozen people, and I mean a dozen, even CNN was coming out and saying Shapiro should have been picked. He wasn't picked because of what he said about Israel. Fox said it in unanimity, even some commentary on MSNBC, who hates anybody Republican, and they don't make a secret about it. They were all saying that Shapiro would have been the best pick. But for the squad, and members of the squad have come out after calling Shapiro Genocide Josh because he supports Israel, and they're celebrating getting him off the ticket. I think it's self-evident what happened.
Yeah, I do too. But the hypocrisy on the part of Governor Shapiro is despicable.
Couldn't agree more. Very sad about it.